Hi, today I want to give a quick introduction to corporate social responsibility, shortened to CSR. Corporate social responsibility is about organizations trying to be ethical and trying to do the right thing. Often this is presented using Carroll's pyramid of CSR. So basically what it says is that at the basic level, organizations have a responsibility to be profitable, so an economic responsibility. Obviously without making profit and without being viable, the organizations cannot continue employing their workers, they cannot provide their goods and services to society. But the next level above that is that organizations also need to obey the law. So there's a legal responsibility to do things that are legally required and not to break the law. So that is a responsibility we expect from every business organization. Now, moving on from that, some organizations will want to go a step higher and be ethical. So there's an ethical responsibility. So this is a responsibility to be ethical, to be just, to be fair. And even beyond that, at the highest level of the pyramid, so at the top of the pyramid, it's the responsibility to be philanthropic, to improve the community. So going beyond us doing what is good and fair to actually, for instance, donating money to charity, improving some aspect of community life, or promoting some aspect of environmental conservation, so that kind of thing. So CSR is often presented as organizations climbing this pyramid from the base of just making money and being profitable and obeying the law to actually moving on to the higher levels of being ethical. So this is a voluntary opportunity that organizations will take on, or voluntary responsibility organizations will take on themselves. But it's also been a hotly debated topic. So for instance, Milton Friedman argued that organizations really have one responsibility, and that is to make money. He claimed famously that the business of business is business, that all this charity work and donating part of your profit to improving the community is not the responsibility of the business. That is the responsibility of, for instance, government agencies or charity, or the charity sector. These are the sectors of society that are responsible for improving the lives of society and improving the environment, for instance. So it's always been debated. Now, on the other side of the debate will be people who would disagree with Milton Friedman and say businesses ought to have some ethical responsibility. So they will believe in CSR, corporate social responsibility, as a responsibility organizations should have. Now, there's also a bit of benefit from doing CSR. For instance, you get a better reputation with your customers, with society, with regulators. Some customers may be willing to pay a premium for instance, higher prices for your goods if they know that it's all fair trade and ethical products and environmentally safe. So reputation, brand, employee engagement may be higher because employees may be interested in working for more ethical organizations, and so on and so forth. But there's also a bit of critique of CSR in the academic literature. For instance, are organizations actually just doing this as a form of whitewashing, have a better reputation, an image, or greenwashing to appear environmentally friendly when they really aren't, and their core business model, their core operations, for instance, would be destroying the environment, but out of make $10 million, for instance, but they just give a token $100,000 out of that as a donation to charity to improve the environment. So the argument here is it may be a form of whitewashing or greenwashing, and if organizations are really serious about CSR, then they ought to look at their core business operations and business models are ethical in terms of the way they treat employees, treat customers, and treat the environment, and so on. So we talk about things like the triple bottom line, that organizations need to look at their impact on people, on their profits, margins, but also on the planet. Another very important critique of CSR is the fact that it's voluntary. If organizations can get away with whatever they want and claim it's CSR, how do we know that what organizations are actually doing is ethical? How do we know the standards to which they are good standards? So we're moving more towards some people arguing for ethical codes that are global, that can be inspected by independent organizations such as non-governmental organizations or trade unions, who can come in to say, well, we verify and we certify that this organization is, for instance, a fair trade organization or whatever code they've signed up to. And it's not just the organization claiming that they're doing good, but that this can be externally verified. So these are important things. If not, organizations can pretend to be good and no one can really verify that this is actually the essence of what they are doing in terms of CSR meets global standards or the expectations of society. So this shows that CSR is a hotly debated topic. It's a topic that we can look at very critically. It's a bit of a complex topic, but it's also very significant and important in terms of helping businesses to become better in their impact upon society, internal, external stakeholders, and also getting society to improve the way it interacts with businesses, and the impact businesses have on societies will definitely improve. So thank you very much.
Education that empowers lives.